Welcome to the Black Mirror Podcast.
Join host Ho-Ho as he discusses the riveting Netflix original series,
Black Mirror. Now, here he is, Ho-Ho-Ho.
Welcome to the Black Mirror Podcast, and as always, I am your host, Ho-Ho, and today, guys, we are discussing episode 5 of season 3 entitled Men Against Fire. Now, this one, as the description says, combating PTSD with technology, what could possibly go wrong? Now, I don't want to say they open this episode, but they do include in this episode some facts that are actually pretty intriguing, which is kind of the premise behind why they did what they did, which was using augmented reality to combat PTSD, to combat an unwillingness to engage the enemy, and, even to give people better dreams for doing a good job with what they considered a good job in killing the enemy. So let's dive into this just a little bit. You see, like I said, they combat PTSD with technology because they stated, and I believe this was during the Civil War, we were just as humans unwilling to kill another human, and so the fire ratio was pretty bad. Okay. We didn't really engage the enemy on the battlefield. Now, during World War II, I believe through training and whatnot, we did a better job. We were firing our weapons downrange a lot more, but due to, again, an unwillingness to really engage the enemy, we were firing above their heads. And this was going on both sides, too. I mean, this wasn't just an American thing. This was just a human thing. Okay, so it's what they do in the show is they use augmented reality to change the enemy from a human to something like a monster. And it kind of reminded me of, like a zombie type of a thing. I mean, that's kind of what it was. They called them roaches. And really come to find out, and it really didn't take me long to really kind of figure out what was going on. I mean, I had my suspicions from the very beginning about this, and come to find out, I really wasn't too far off, but it's what they were doing. And this was a scary aspect of it. It was genocide, not against a race, not against a nationality, not against the color of somebody's skin or where they were from. It was genocide against people who had basically genetic defects that they didn't want them to reproduce, and that genetic defect to go into the population. They wanted to exterminate these people that had genetic defects. And it's like, wow. But one of the things that they did, besides just, turning the enemy into a monster, they were also messing with, people's emotions, making it to where they, didn't feel, sad and, just a negative emotion towards killing somebody. Not only were they changing them into monsters, they were also controlling the emotion centers of their brain to where they were feeling, I don't want to say necessarily happy, but it exhilarated, not exactly thrilled, but it was a grateful they were alive, and it gave them more purpose into what they were doing in order to basically do it again, to where they didn't have that negative emotional attachment, the thing that was there towards killing somebody else, killing a monster as they were seeing it, and it's like, holy crap. Granted, how far away are we from actually using some type of technology in this, outside of, just the behavioral modifications that we do, but how far along before we're actually able to insert technology in the people to do something like this? And let me know in your comments below, because I'm kind of curious on this. And, outside of that, one of the things that they do to as a congratulations, as an attaboy, as you did a good job. Thank you for doing your job. They gave him good dreams. They were able to alter their dreams to where they weren't having the nightmares associated with PTSD. It was hey, you're going to get a good dream to, further support their behavior of killing what they refer to as roaches. And in the show, in the episode, one of the so-called roaches had this device on them that disrupted their implant. And the guy was able to actually see them for whom they were outside of the augmented reality. And then the horror set in on what it was that was actually going on. And he totally changed, his outlook on it. And it was like, whoa, this is what you guys are actually doing. And that's whenever they kind of explain as far as the, unwillingness to kill another human. And that's why we did what we did to eliminate that, which in a matter of speaking, yeah, it might sound all good, fine and dandy, but being used the way that it was, this wasn't a battlefield thing. This wasn't a warring nation. They were committing genocide just because of a defect that somebody had in their blood and, as part of their DNA sickness. Through that, and we're already there in technology as far as being able to, through the Genome Project and different things that they've done, they can see different markers in your DNA to know what type, different defects that they have. That's an aspect of it that we're already there. But how far along are we until we're actually able to do some type of implant to your visual cortex and change the augmented reality? You're using augmented reality. That's the aspect of it that was like intriguing. Granted, it was neat, before you realize what was going on, some of the stuff that they were doing was pretty stinking awesome. Having, like showing, details of information, like somebody's dossier, and even having, looking at a house, a building that they're wanting to go into and a floor plan of it. That aspect of it was actually pretty neat. That was really cool. That was something that would be beneficial. This is something that you would expect to see in a video game, and it was going on. That part was pretty cool. But the aspect of changing somebody else into a monster, somebody that would be desirable to kill, that was the part that was a little discerning, especially considering that it wasn't just an enemy. It was genocide to cleanse the gene pool, so to speak. Cleansing the gene pool. That's what they were doing. That was what their goal was. Cleansing the gene pool. Wow. So I'm curious as to what you guys think. How do you feel about that type of technology? What do you see as something that would be good from it and beneficial from it? And what do you see as the possible downfalls, places where it could possibly be used against us? Holy crap, let me know in the comments. And of course, the best place you guys can go to would be to go to thehohoshow.com, click on the, what tab is that? I don't remember off the top of my head. I apologize. I believe it is the forums, the forum tab. And there you'll see a forum for, the Black Mirror Podcast Season 3, and just post a comment in there and let me know. Because I'm curious as to what you guys think. I'm curious as to what you see as a positive, what you see as a negative, possible negative on how it could be applied and, used. Excuse me, I had to cough right there. But I'm curious. There's definite awesome things that they used it for that I see as a definite bonus. But it's very easy to see especially how they used it, how it could be misused and mishandled, especially considering the technology that we already have. So I know this one was kind of a short episode. There really wasn't a lot to talk about in this one, but the next one, I tell you guys what, and I've already seen this one, and I'm going to be doing this next very soon, actually. So I'm excited on this one. I really am. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. So good night, sleep tight, and if the bed bugs bite, well, heck, bite them back. Thank you for listening to the Black Mirror Podcast. If you would like to join the conversation, you can comment on this episode at Spreaker.com or go to thehohoshow.com/forum in the discussion board for this season.